Alrighty, guys. We're officially on the final stretch. Isn't it crazy? One of the things with the 21-day challenge is they fly. Like 21 days kind of sounds like a little slow, but then when you kind of get into it, then it's like we're literally, like I said, this is the final stretch of the whole challenge. So one of the things, especially now that we are on Zoom and can communicate versus last week, I actually want you guys, and since it's a small group, I'd love for you guys to hop off mute. Um, I want you to share with the group, I don't know, anywhere from 1 to 3 wins that you feel like you're starting to notice, whether it's scale related, not scale related, things with food, maybe exercise, anything in that regards. So, Tara, you happen to be in the top of my screen first, so you get to go first.
I can do that. Okay. So I had kind of like stopped tracking for a while, and that's kind of why I wanted to do the challenge. So I have been tracking consistently, even when it's like, oh, I ate something off plan, but like I still track it. And that just brings me so much awareness, tracking does. So that is one win. I have been getting outside a lot for walks, which has been another like huge win. I did not do it yesterday and I noticed it in my mood. So I feel like noticing like how I feel in my body makes me just want to like walk and do things like that too, which is great. And then I would say my other win too is just like making more conscious choices. I had told Kara and Nicole this, but I grabbed a Reese's peanut butter egg from my kids' like Easter baskets. Literally, I don't know, I think this was last week. So it's kind of old, right? And I opened it up and I took a bite of it and I was like, this is disgusting. And I spit it out and threw it away because it was like it was not good. It was not worth it to me. Whereas I feel like, maybe a month ago, I would have just been like, oh, whatever, I'll just keep eating it because it's chocolate and I want it and it feels like my comfort in the moment. So that was a really big win for me.
Good job. I love that.
Woo!
Thanks.
Those are big ones. You're like, it looks good, but not so good. That's
Yeah,
what makes
it
me
was big.
sad with
Yeah,
some candies is they seem delicious and then you eat it and you're like, huh,
I know.
that was
Like this was
uneventful.
not good.
Mm,
So yeah, that's fine.
that's awesome. Dana, you're on my screen next.
Okay, I would say I'm tracking consistently and um, consistent workouts
Job.
are my wins.
Have you noticed anything with tracking or not surprised, neutral? It is what it is.
I guess it just makes me make better choices.
Has it?
Yeah.
Good deal. Any other big shifts or those are kind of your big ones?
Yeah, those are my two biggest, I would say.
Yeah. Are you noticing any like feeling better of things since kind of shifting with picking better choices? Any in that regards?
I have more energy. I'm less fatigued.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yes.
That's usually the number one thing most people will start to notice is I know energy is a really like hard thing to gauge. I'm talking to everybody here, not just you, Dana, but is because energy can get is fluctuated by or not fluctuate. There's so many reasons that causes ebbs and flows with energy, and it's not just food related. It's not just exercise related, right? There's a trillion different factors. But typically, when you start kind of matching a little bit more consistently, and I think it's important to do like a quick check in. I was talking to a client today. I was like, "How do you feel with eating breakfast?" Right? That's one of her things. She's been working on, and she's like, "Yeah, I actually do feel better." She's like, "I'm not having these big dips as I go." And I think if you guys have not done those like quick check-ins, that's a good just kind of like a self-check awareness. How are things feeling? Like, are you noticing any of those things? Those are really important. But yeah, energy is typically like the number one thing that will start to shift just by cleaning up the diet, right? And that's what tracking does alone, whether you're adding or taking away food too. So, Rachel, you're up next.
Okay. Sorry, I'm watering the garden and my neighbor's
I like it.
dog
It's
is
all right.
losing its mind. Um,
Can't hear it.
that's good. I would say my number one has been my water intake. Which I mean, I was telling you in that message earlier today, Casey.
Yep.
I really only drink water, but I'm one of those people that unless I'm out in the heat or I'm just severely dehydrated, I don't notice being thirsty. And I was not paying very good attention. And we had that day where we had the 65-ounce challenge. and I got it all there and had it ready, and I went to try and get through it, and I was like, I don't remember the last time I went to the bathroom this many times.
Ah.
Like, I was struggling to drink it. I was constantly going to the bathroom, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
apparently this is what I need to focus on right now. Apparently, I've not been doing a good job, and I can definitely tell a difference that I'm drinking more and my body is feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had actually started right before you started this, going to force myself to track because I hate tracking. Stresses me out. But I had started and you were doing this, and I was like, okay, there we go. There is what's going to keep me accountable to get back in the groove.
Mm-hmm.
And all in all, I feel like I've done a pretty good job. And there's been a couple days, like Saturday, where I was working my second job, and I was working till midnight that night, and it's a catering job. So I got to eat, a chicken breast and mashed potatoes and green beans that night, but nothing was weighed. I didn't know what all was in there. And I just said, you know what? It's okay. I'm allowed to not stress out about this. And I think that was the big thing for me, was not being okay with not being perfect.
Dang. That's a big one, Rachel. For sure. Hold on, get my dog. She did this last time. Once. That's why I keep turning around. I feel like she's gonna I'll be right back.
Rachel, I love the way that you said that you allowed yourself to not do that, because I feel like it kind of lessens the control that it has over you. Like kind of like depersonifies it from you a little bit. Like, I allowed myself to do this. So I feel like that's a lot of control of your mindset. So congrats.
I had told Casey in previous conversations that, I do really well when I track, but I'm I'm a perfectionist. And so I feel like I need to be hitting exactly what the numbers are, and I need to know exactly how much, celery is on my plate, not 2 sticks, it's, 67 grams. And it caused so much stress that it really turned me off from all of that. But I've noticed that I don't maintain a good self-awareness of what I'm putting in my body when I'm not tracking. And so that was one of my goals, was to sort of break that cycle of, oh, I have to be perfect with it. Everything has to be perfect, and just focusing more on, hey, I did it. I did it for breakfast and lunch. So you know what? It's okay that dinner's not done.
Uh,
That is awesome.
I know. That's a big one, Rachel. With Is anyone else here struggle with the perfectionist mentality? I put this in quotations because whatever you want to call it, with tracking, and that's what deterred you from tracking before. Anyone else in here?
I feel like I definitely used to. And then I was going to tell you this too, Rachel. One time I heard someone describe it as, you can give B- effort to tracking and it will still move the needle and it will still like show you importance. So that B- effort, like for some reason, those words really stuck with me. And that's been helpful.
I like that. I like that, Tara. Whoever
Uh,
you got that from, that's a good one.
yeah,
I know. It's pretty good. I will not take credit for it.
Yeah, because like you said, what it does is so the goal always is not to track forever, right? Because I think some people also get really stuck into the thought of, I only eat well when I track because I don't want to track the bad things, blah, 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 right? Well, that's kind of like, that's defeating necessarily the purpose of tracking. Like, we have to go into the mindset of tracking of, this gives me the awareness so that when I feel, everybody's at a little bit different points. When you feel comfortable enough, then you can stop tracking, right? So then you understand what serving sizes look like, what probably approximate, like, even so, then it makes going out to eat 10 times easier because you already have an idea of what like the intake looks like when you go out to eat. You either know you're gonna eat something healthy, or you're like, screw it, I'm gonna eat whatever 500, 600 plus calorie dish, right? You know that so that's the power of what it does. And so going into it with a B minus mentality is that as you keep progressing, that at some point take a break, slowly pull back, and not have to rely on it. And then it becomes more intuitive, because you already have an understanding of what caloric intake your body likes. That's the ultimate goal. That's why you guys do it. So, or that's why I challenge people to do it. Kara, how about you?
I would say, well, okay, I am kind of on a trying to find the balance of like, yeah, like tracking and being, I don't know, making healthy choices, but then also not feeling guilty or beating myself up because I'm just being a normal human. You know,
Mhm.
it's also like, so I definitely am making better choices for sure. Like it's huge. This time of year is, I gotta be honest, like I like to have drinks. And this has been like a tough time because it's just all the celebrations but it's interesting because it's made me rethink like, yeah, I do definitely don't need a drink with dinner. Like
Mhm.
unless it's going to be like a special occasion or, yeah. So I would say I probably would just mindlessly ingest, like 1,000 calories.
Drinks are easy, they're liquid.
Yeah. Or
Mhm.
even just like having I mean we do have stuff around. But like um I would just like slam a bag of Sour Patch Kids
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
because they're bomb. And I like, yeah, I know that it's not, so I've been on really restrictive programs before and it did not work for me. It worked,
Yeah.
like I lost a lot of weight pretty fast. And then it all just spiraled,
Yeah.
like
When you
it's
well,
not realistic.
correct, yeah, because you pull out all the things you like Sour
Yeah.
Patch Kids.
Yeah. I'm never giving, I can't quit you.
Uh,
So yeah, I would say like for me, it's been, um, and also I know I messaged you like it's hard. Like I'm like conserving during the day
mhm.
because I'm like, well, I don't want to end up like at night and I don't have enough calories left and I'm hungry and whatever, which duh, just eat but then I was like low and not being able to like my workouts I've noticed I haven't had as much energy.
Yeah.
Um, but so yeah, so I was really consistent with exercise. So that part was fine for me. Um,
Just the nutrition aspect.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. Um, so yeah, I mean, what do you feel? So obviously just understanding like what caloric, how many calories you just, could randomly ingest, now I'm saying the word, that you could consume. Do you feel like, Kara, it's like, I guess, have there been any positive feelings besides just the awareness aspect? Kind of what I asked Dana, like, do you feel any different? Feel any better? Like, is there any energy? Like, maybe the energy is tipped because, everybody in here is obviously in a different little caloric, is in a different caloric goals, right? Whether they're adding, subtracting, maintaining, etc. Um, so yeah, I guess I know this is a long-winded question. Any feeling of any I don't know, do you have any shifts like positive wins, shifts of feelings, or even maybe scale victories in that regards?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I kind of go off the rails a little bit in the weekend. So, um, I feel like less bloated and
Ooh,
I'm
good.
getting, yeah. So I definitely, I mean, like I'm down consistently a couple pounds, right? Like obviously it fluctuates, but yeah, I definitely feel
The difference.
like yeah, because I had gotten, yeah, I just, like I said, had gotten a little off the rails, which is why I'm doing this. So,
Yeah, and like, I think sometimes I think for everybody in this group, it's important to really realize like ultimate, like I think sometimes we, as far as like goals, right, is whether like like sometimes when you do have to because there's some restriction, right? Depending if you have to cut calories, there is going to be some restrictions and give and take, right, of what you can and can't have. And then sometimes I think, when I talk to people that are going through those, it's like, it's kind of hard to hold off on the weekend because I want to live and enjoy and do those things. And I think as you're going through the health process, is start to kind of figure out like I think it's a lots of trial and error. So you figure out what works for you. Like, are you happy? Like, is the size really like, let me go, like, you can go even deeper. Is your body size, is that as big of a deal as you think it was, right? Is the food intake like that big of a deal to affect how you feel? Is weight loss really going to make you that much happier? And I think as you try different things, and there's pros and cons of all different programs that are out there, to see the best approach and what type of body you like and what you feel best in. And that could constantly change based on where you're at in your life, kids, no kids, out of the house, retired, whatever phase of life that you're currently in. I think your health journey will continue to shift as your life phases change as well. And I think it's okay to constantly change. Like maybe some seasons you're going to be like, all right, I want to be really fit. And other seasons you're like, nope, I want to be a little fluffy, and that's okay. Right. I think we also need to recognize that both those seasons, or just neutral, I just don't want to just stay the same all the time. Those are all okay too, right? Every type of season is okay. And I think that just comes with trial, error, practice, figuring
No.
out where you're at. So, food for thought on that one. But good. I'm glad these are great. Um, who's 563? Who's the iPhone?
That might be me. This
That's you. Everyone else has a name except for you. Who's this?
This is Valerie.
All right. Hey, Valerie. What are your wins, Valerie?
I would say it's tracking my food for sure,
Yeah.
which I think is a pain in the butt, but
You guys are doing it.
I have just made myself do it. I'm not worried about being absolutely exact. I think it's just get it in there and try and keep focused on staying in bounds and reaching the goals that you've in terms of calories and protein, and yeah. So that's a win for sure.
I love that. Any physical, mental, any wins that you've been noticing so far?
I think my energy level some days is up. Then I think I have days where I overdo it, whether it's working, digging holes and mixing up dirt for mixes and for pots and this and that. And then I am exhausted the next day. And
Then
however, I do feel it in my arms and whatnot that you've definitely had a workout. And
yeah. So kind of matching, do you rest on the days that you have kind of heavy like physical days like that, Labor days?
I probably lay off more. Not that I do nothing, but
yeah,
don't push quite as hard. But I have several days in a row lately where we have just really been hitting it hard. We have a pool and a huge patio, and so our place is kind of the gathering place all summer for family and friends. And so we just have a lot that we try to get done right now at this time of the year. And in between, of course, kids and grandkids and all of that good stuff.
All the fun things.
Yeah.
So you are, this weekend got gorgeous. So of course everybody's been outside nonstop, and it's still gorgeous.
We had our first day in the pool. So that was great.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, good. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this warm weather because I do have the swim weights and stuff like that that I really have tried
yeah.
when I'm in the pool as much as we are.
A lot of people love that. That's awesome. I know, I'm telling you, that's like once the weather got nice, everybody, all my clients are just like coming out of these shells. I guess you can just tell the winter blues is a real thing, and everybody's like, why do we live here? But we do.
The thing I struggle with is probably that three
Yeah.
meals a day and two snacks, and I'm just like, I can't eat that much, and I'm not hungry, and I don't know where to go with it sometimes.
Hold on, you had to cut out there. What were you saying? You said something, you have a hard time eating the 3 meals, 2 snacks.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing more is it harder to eat bigger meals, or are you still full with those?
Um, I think typically we have always been a breakfast and supper kind of as
Okay.
we have gotten older
Okay.
with a snack in between. But
So what if you made lunch a main priority, like kind of bump up the lunch, so then you're just basically eating 3 main meals?
well, we've been trying real hard to eat
Like
three
that?
and making that even if it's just
Go get that.
turkey and a wrap and something for,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, as you're starting to work on adding food in, everybody's a little bit different about how they can start. Like some people eat bigger meals, some people eat a little bit smaller meals. And so maybe just by really focusing on lunch itself, making it just a little bit bigger so you don't have to worry about getting snacks in between.
Yeah.
So try that this week if you have not tried it. Keep challenging yourself on that.
Yep.
You're doing good.
Thank you.
Julie, what about you?
Hi, here I am.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, here I am. Sorry, I got a crazy night and I
Oh, you're
have to
fine.
cut out even early tonight. But
You're on.
how am I doing? It's changes by the hour.
It's all right. Do you feel like you've started to pick things back up again?
I feel like, yeah, especially on breakfast.
Good.
And yeah, it's just every day is kind of a wild whirlwind here on the farm. So I try and I keep trying and I keep trying. I'm not going to give up, but I'm you talked about perfection. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
So sometimes it's hard not to get yourself stumbled up on that, but breakfast is good, water's good.
Good.
My exercise is not a formal, but it's busy on the farm.
Yeah.
So
Lots of general movement.
yeah. Like I can say, every day is a new day. Thank God for that. And I just try again and try to do a little bit better. And if I goof up, I just like it happens. I'll
Good.
just keep on going.
Remember what Tara said. I know it's not your quote, Tara, but B minus. Aim for B minus, Julie.
Oh, that sounds great. I like that.
I think you missed that. She got it from somebody else.
I did. I love it. Thank you.
But it is true that it just gives you an awareness. It gives you something, right? There's literally no such thing as perfection with tracking, like unless there's actual like computer, whatever. Anyway, I could keep going on and on. And so as we go through this change, like I think Rachel's done a great job of trying to shift it. She's still at the beginning, even, a lot of people that have started that. Sometimes that's what holds people up is that very like laser focused mentality of like, well, I have to track every single drop, morsel, etc. I'm like, well, not necessarily. Like it just starts with, are you actually just eating too many, whatever, like snacks, like grab and go things. If you're at your house or if you're at an office and you just grab things, those little things really add up. Make sure you're tracking some of those things. Those are like really sneaky calories that we don't might even mindlessly be eating that we don't even know. To I don't know, throwing on like, obviously other mindless calories can be like dumping a bunch of oil into the pan, not necessarily being mindful of the quantity. Like, I'll be honest, I don't really track all my oils. I really mindful about trying to do like a teaspoon of oil, right? Or do spray oil, something like that to saute my veggies in. I don't even track if I like put oil on like, yeah, I will saute vegetables, throw some avocado oil. I don't track that at all. Now, should I? Yeah, I probably should, but just by tracking everything else, that hasn't been much of a game changer for me, right? Those are kind of some things that can sneak in, but maybe not necessarily. Maybe just the grab and go things. It also big, tracking helps bring a good idea for or good awareness for quantities, portion control. That's a big one. So people that just generally eat too many portion sizes, right? And then last but not least, it gives you big awareness for eating out. Of course, any just other easy consumed calories. I think especially between I put sweets and alcohol in a very similar category because it's the sweets you actually are consuming, it's food, but they don't have a whole lot of nutrient dense things obviously, and so but they're very high in calories and so very easy to add up. So just be mindful of those things really add up. One thing I just wanted to throw out there real quick was talking about like pre-tracking. Pre-tracking is like going to be your biggest savior. Once again, it's not going to be perfect. It's just like giving you a guesstimate idea of what you're doing. So whatever your goals are that you guys are working on, pre-tracking, I'm telling you, it sets you up. It makes the next day like almost mindless. I mean, ideally, if you could do it maybe the night before. If not, maybe you have some time in the morning, just kind of give a guesstimate of what you're going to consume for the day. I think I'm going to have this for lunch. I'm going to have this for snack. I'm going to have this for dinner, blah, blah, blah. That pieces together. So then as you go throughout the day, you can slowly shift it if needed. But it really gives you that ability without going into the goals that you all have set blindly. So if I could emphasize anything, pre-tracking is going to be like the easiest way for you to kind of figure out what in the world that you should be aiming for. So do you know? So if it's a protein goal, you know how to hit your protein, and I can kind of go down the list, calorie goal, etc., things like that. So pre-tracking. Now, like I said, at the very beginning of this, tracking is not necessarily meant to be used forever. This is just the beginning. This is just the awareness tool of where to go, where to start, what to do. And kind of on Kara's point with like, some very restrictive diets, this is why I like tracking, because it allows you to have sweets and alcohol incorporated into those goals without having to pull those foods out. I think that's to me, I'll be honest, I used to be very anti-tracking for years, years and years and years. Probably like all of you. I was like, no, this is dumb. I'm not going to do it. That just sounds silly. And then I'm not kidding you, when I started to do it, and I've done it over and over, and I do it multiple times. I take massive breaks, etc. I take lots of time off, and then I come back. I'm actually tracking. I've been tracking since you guys have started tracking, just to get back on the tracking thing. I just wanted to see where in the world I was consuming. I didn't know how much I was eating. And to me, it's very easy. Like tracking to me is not a hard thing, just because I've been doing it for so long, off and on. And I think it's just a good checkpoint, right? Just to see where you're at. If you're feeling a little off, if you're like, hey, I don't really feel like where I'm at. So now that you have this baseline, they can go back to tracking and be like, oh, okay, now I know, because I keep grabbing random snacks throughout the day and I didn't even know I was doing that, right? That's what tracking really starts to do, kind of hones you back in, and then you take a break from it again, right? You start to give yourself practice, and then give yourself permission once you feel successful. And so anyway, that's kind of pre-tracking is kind of, I got off tangent there, but pre-tracking is going to be the big one. Have any of you guys have any of you pre-tracked during this challenge at all?
I pre-track pretty much breakfast and lunch every day.
Great. Fantastic. At least 2 meals. I like that. Does that help?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get up at, first thing in the morning. I make everybody's lunches and I put in all my stuff for my breakfast and lunch. And that helps me decide, okay, what should dinner look like? What should my snacks look like?
I love that.
Or, depending on what my day's like, I may go, I need to have a heavier breakfast today.
Yes. I love that.
And so I'll add a few things to it, and just sort of helps keep me aware throughout the day of where I'm at.
Fantastic. Good job, Rachel. Anyone else? If not, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. Valerie, were you going to hop on? Maybe not. Yeah, and I actually like that idea, Rachel, as well, of doing, you don't have to do all meals either, right? If you just did breakfast, lunch, great. If you have a really busy day and like lunch is a big like one that's easy to skip. This is where pre-tracking can help. So you kind of front load breakfast, right? Get that breakfast in, get that front load in so that you can have a pretty hefty breakfast and then go on throughout the day so that if you feel like you might be low on calories or you need, et cetera, so that you're not going to be like binging at a certain point. That can also really help that with lunch. So, one thing I want to make sure to know is, so tomorrow you guys are all going to get a message from me to schedule one-on-one calls after the challenge. Now, of course, you guys are welcome to schedule those before the challenge is over. Basically, the objective of these one-on-one calls is to help you keep going. So I will be going over specifically your plan that I've made for you, how to keep that going, what success rate that you guys are feeling that you're doing. So there will be a call link that's coming into the messages tomorrow. Actually, I'll just throw it in the link now. If you guys are welcome to, even want to hop on and get real early, you guys can do it now. But yeah, I think that's the most important part, because obviously with the support of the group, it helps us, help you guys stay accountable with all this. And I want to make sure that you guys are continuing the success, because sometimes when we stop, the group challenge, or we stop the challenges, people stop, right? Like an on off thing. And I want to make sure that you guys keep going, keep seeing the progress you've already seen, and keep building, right? And if you haven't seen any weight loss challenges or weight drop or anything, don't hesitate. Valerie, can I use your example of this real quick? As I just threw out her name.
What's that?
I want to get it. Can I throw I feel like this is a really good example. You reached out to me last week about your scale going up.
Yeah, the whole eating out thing is.
Yeah, this is such a good one.
I'm sure it's going to have a big effect on everything.
It always does. If any of you guys notice, if you eat out, have too many drinks, or you just eat too many calories in a day, that the scale goes up. It's very common. Anyway,
Monday.
Yeah. So where I was going with that is, with these calls, I want to make sure if you're not seeing scale progress, I can dive a little bit deeper into some of that information too with you. That's obviously, a lot of people want to see progress there. So anyway, schedule those calls. Those will be coming out tomorrow. Here's the link. I just threw that in there. Plan for about like a half hour, and we'll put together plans. So any specific questions about anything that you guys struggling with, need additional advice on? Did I answer all your questions? Anybody? And it could be anything. It doesn't have to be, it could be, I don't know, workout related or anything. Nothing. All right. Well, awesome. I love it. I know, I'll be honest, every time I do the 21-day challenges, I love it. I think they're awesome. It's a lot of support and everything. So we will also have one more group call next Sunday. So don't forget about that too. So we will have one more final group call. We'll be going over things as well. So you have another group call and then another individual call with me. So basically your last two calls. Finish off this week strong. You guys know where to find me. You can message me on all the messengers. I talk to everybody on different platforms, which is fine. So message me if you have any questions throughout this, and keep it up. So have a great Tuesday night, and I will see you next Sunday. So a little bit less than a week from now. All right.
Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Casey.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.